years ago, and it's one of the greatest storylines of Mortal Kombat 11 to me competitively is seeing him make a return to form and back at the apex of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely shown that he is, capable of going back to full fighting form. And he proved that while winning Mortal Kombat 9 at Combo Breaker just a few years ago. After nobody knew, where Kerbo went, what happened to Kerbo. Now, granted, that was the older game, and a lot of people are like, well, he can't do that with a new game. Here he is proving all those haters completely wrong, going into this full force and just rocking with the best of them here. Is right now getting rocked by Hijinx. Those mids coming out so quick. One of the best things about Jackie is how fast those mids come out and how much damage they deal afterwards. Gets the back here. Hijinx willing to not let go of block. Kerbo makes his comeback. Oh, doesn't get the last part.
Oh, if he would have converted, I would have cried right there. Managed to survive, but Hijinx on the flip side coming here with the Jackie. We just saw what Curbolicous was able to do against Jackie in the previous round against Mighty Unjust, and he has a phenomenal track record against Jackie as well. And matchup-wise, Cabal's jump one gonna be a problem. I know these two have run into each other an awful lot in competitive play of late, and look who looks a little more prepared for the matchup. It's Hijinx who has turned up the offense to 11, and the offense runs him into the crushing blow of the back one, and this is so much damage. Goes for the reset, 326 plus the 130. That ended up being way more than the combo would have done, and Hijinx already halfway dead.
Oh yeah, especially considering that 5% less than every other character. Kerbo close to tying this up here. Doesn't quite give Hijinx the access to the fatal blow, but now after this throw, both fatal blow, never mind, going right through it completely. Forgot that crushing blow was fully loaded thanks to that failed escape previously. And Kerbo understanding that, paying obviously more attention than I am right there because he's the one at the helm here.
And that's what I was talking about right there. You saw Jackie leap in, Kerbo does the instant jump one, and there is not much that Jackie could do to actually hit Cabal in that situation when the jump one is active. And that's really crucial in this match if Kerbo can get that cooking here in the air. Hijinx making the grounded approach, though, kind of learning his lesson from the last one. And Kerbo's conversions haven't been there as much as they have been before. Cleans it up this time around, and he gets Hijinx off the defensive bar because of it. The really big reward for that execution. We got ourselves a poke fest here, 2021. And Kerbo comes in with a grab instead because Hijinx has been in such support, or sorry, such respect of those big beefy mids that Cabal puts on the screen.
Just kind of taking the time there to just try to space things out as best as you can. But you know what? When those normals are extended, hook swords, very, very tough to be out of range of them. Over the other side, good placement there from Hijinx, knowing exactly how far away Kerbo was from the corner. Tries to go for some kind of throw mix, possibly just to get that free throw in case Hijinx does react and try to tech the correct way. Hits the mids, counter against Curbolicous here, looking to press some buttons, and those are the downward shots. That's going to be a nice hit confirmed. Impeccable execution, and Hijinx coming off the resource at the perfect time. Curbolicous going down, and Hijinx getting on the board, drawing first blood here in what's definitely already starting as a bloodbath. We can see it right here with the statement, fatality after the first game. We are not pulling any punches here.
Boy, this is message sent from Hijinx, doing to Kerbo what Kerbo does to others. This is the counter mental warfare. And mentality is a lot more prevalent in fighting games than you guys realize. You can win or lose simply by what's going on inside of your own mind. Kerbo likes to play these games with everyone else, fatality them every single game, try to get them even more upset. And I love that Hijinx gave him a taste of his own medicine to get us started here. And Hijinx is very confident today. After the first win, said, feeling confident to take the entire tournament. I like it. And he's playing like it.
Jackie Briggs, Cabal.
Yeah, man, the confidence is just kind of oozing out here. Right now we're seeing the feeling themselves as he's just kind of giving Curbolicous a little taste of his own medicine, highlighting Cabal over and over again. But obviously, because we just came off the win, going to be character locked here. Although I don't see either of these players straying away from their tried and true mains here. Kerbo, of course, known as playing Cabal for a very, very long time, even before MK11, really doing some work when Cabal was clearly the one of the most broken characters that ever exists in MK9. But right here, obviously, a more balanced, more toned down version of it. Gonna try to launch up there, and look at the timing there from Hijinx on that breakaway. Immediately coming out, knowing that that launcher's coming out, almost like you're buffering it before you even take to the sky.
That's one of the most savage like Kerbo got the trade, and his instinct was to just nomad dash afterwards, reading that Hijinx was going to be the aggressor, and that's what Hijinx showed him in game number 1. The adaptations by Curbolicous right now. Where's that bad boy? Oh, okay. Managed to avoid the killing blow.
Escape there. And just a nice little poke there from Curbolicous, maybe looking for some kind of stagger, maybe looking to, you know, just simply chip out. No need to take a big risk because we have seen it go downhill like we did in the previous game in the last round.
Ooh, nice trade. I like that Hijinx is being a lot more grounded. You know, thank you for the correction, by the way, in the chat. It's that Cabal jump, too, when he puts that hook out. It's been a really big hindrance for him. And Kerbo does 14.5, I feel like, different mix-ups every time he goes airborne. We'll see what Hijinx's adjustment is going to be, because right now Curbolicous is finding that groove a little bit, and oh, not much you can do about that. Just a perfectly executed flawless block, and he gets a beautiful conversion off the down two as well. And wait a second, life given the Hijinx here, trying to fight and claw his way out of the big hole he found himself in early on this second round. He wants to maintain the momentum here on Curbolicous. Knows that momentum plays heavy into these games.
Yeah, super. And pretty much anything here. As soon as you're feeling it, as soon as you're getting that confidence, making the right decision, it can all go great for you. Love the decision to go back into the corner. Again, picking up on the fact that Hijinx was just holding on the block, and he made that guess, that read one more time, and Hijinx said, no, this time I'm nowhere on the ground. I'm doing downward shot, easy conversion for me for some good damage. What an air-to-air here. What an answer from Curbolicous. The forward 2-2 hit confirmed. Of course, we're going to keep the corner positioning here, slamming him down. What's he going to go for? The auto shimmy, but nobody was home thanks to that delay wake up. But here comes the so close to the ground. Oh, that's going to be the armor breaker. That's going to be so much damage here. 37%. Just because you didn't think that little thing was coming. An unfortunate breakaway here from Curbolicous. Decides to break away at the end of the combo just in case he can sneak out of there. But no. Look at this damage. 49% because of one breakaway you decided to do. And now you've got no bar for quite some time.
That was incredible. It's exactly what Hijinx needed, but oh, the stray hit from Kerbo. Getting converted here, and no fatality back, sends the brutal to him this time around.
Cabal wins.
I feel like it takes a certain finesse to you know, get those brutalities off. And obviously you have a lot of them unlocked, so you have a lot of different routes out there. And Curbolicous, I feel like one-upping Hijinx a little bit in this situation. Of course, Hijinx going with the fatality at the end of the first game. Kerbo says, all right, you're going to do that? If I'm feeling myself, we're definitely going into Brutal City. Definitely ripping you to pieces here. And Hijinx no longer playing any games here on the character select screen, and neither is Kerbo. These guys are locked in, focused, hyper-focused, wanting this more than anybody, because whoever wins this is going to be guaranteed third place or better once they get to that winner's finals, and that is a lot of money, a big chunk of this $10,000 prize pool.
Round 1, fight.
And that split is no joke for those that do make the top 8. First place tonight, $3 grand on top of the amazing Astro prize package that some people want more than the actual prize payout itself.
Look, man, custom anything is just an awesome thing to have. Custom anything, especially when it comes attached to so many great memories, like playing Mortal Kombat 11 at a high level. Who doesn't want to remember that? Back throw, and here's a nice little down 4 at max range. Jackie just getting clipped there, but Hijinx totally okay with it, and totally okay with swinging for the fences as Curbolicous comes down with a huge 40% combo. And of course, we're just going to go into the auto shimmy string. No need to take any kind of huge risk. Just do it, and if they get hit, they are dead. If they think a throw is coming, they are dead.
Kerbo willing to eat.
Curbolicous.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was willing to eat it, so
Exactly.
he was gonna do more damage regardless, as long as he's got the health lead. And in this match, health leads are few and far between because they're both haymaker characters tossing 30 plus every single touch. And Kerbo getting real throw happy this time around. And what a way to open up your opponent when they started to pick up on your patterns of staggers, full strings. Start implementing the throws, and that's going to force your opponent to try to neutral crouch a little bit more or start getting more aggressive with their buttons to start opening up those staggers later on. This is all conditioning from Curbolicous. Ooh, beautiful hop by Hijinx and the back-to-back. I can't believe he recovered in time. Whoa, that was an awful lot of respect right there, Arma. Two guys next to each other, both with, what, 9-frame mid, staring each other down, not pressing a button. That's not MK11 to me.
What's my name, man?
And Hijinx was more times
Definitely a rare sight of respect, a rare sight of let me just chill out for a second, just for 1 second, just for a few frames. Downward shot here, trying to throw some damage over time, but so early into the game, really not going to take that much effect into some decision making as Kerbo just okay with sitting through it. But right
I
now,
love that late
getting
adjustment.
really disrespectful.
That led just my Hijinx to see Curbolicous jump back, and prior thought that he was going to be able to get a turn in there. You know, the Curbolicous loves that so close to the ground leap and then back into the jump to pressure. It's caught Hijinx a few times. I like that he's starting to wait it out a little bit more. Wasn't ready for the early one this time around. He's going for the ride of his life, about to get breakaway. Not even going to bother with it. Knew that it was more risk than reward, and falls for what could have been the shimmy. And that may be what all of those throws earlier in that exact game were all about, Arma, was getting him to finally open him up with the 1-1-1. And that's what we call strike throw.
So good. I mean, you know, you're considering that, you know, throw is coming. Here comes those mids. You know, and especially with I was gonna say with Kerbo's 1-1-1, with Cabal's 1-1-1,
They might as well
cancel.
just, you know.
Where's the
When
Kerbo
you
skin?
see Cabal,
We
you
want.
think Curbolicous, come on.
I want the Cabal with like the curly, like, you know, slight little, the Kerbo curly hair from like
Can we
2
talk
years
about
ago.
Kerbo's hair for a second, though? Like,
Amazing, top tier,
his hair game is on point.
super on point. I want a Cabal skin, at least the helmet where like he puts it on and just like the back of it is Kerbo's hair, like little
remember all
slightly
those, like,
curly brown hair.
Do you remember all those diva photos of community members from back in the TYM days? Like, that's Kerbo IRL.
Yeah, he takes it to another level, and you know, I would too if I was that amazing looking. Curbolicious out for everybody's heart here. Big crushing blow. That's a really tough combo to hit mid-screen, and Curbolicious doing it like a pro. No way dropping it there. 39%, no problem at all. Jackie, Hijinx swinging for the fences. The forward two, a nice mid. Pretty quick for a mid, but obviously a little bit stubby there. But if you're in the right spot, definitely going to be bringing the oppression. Trying to get those throws after successful down one is Hijinx, where Curbolicious not respecting it at all there in that situation. Doesn't want to get thrown, really on top of that mindset of Hijinx here. Kerbo on match point.
He's definitely turned this around in a matchup that I think he really enjoys, and boy, oh boy, does that... I never get tired of seeing that. So plus on hit that the stand 2 can whiff and the 3 still combos. And this final game so far has been all Kerbolicious. I think I've seen 4 combos, and a bar and 3/4 of Hijinx is gone, but I'm never count him out. Jackie's putting on some big girl damage of her own. Falls for the 1-1-1 once more. Was he frightened of the throw, or was he just being super aggressive? Kerbo down 2-ing through the breakaway is going to take this 3-1. And not only has he made top 8, guaranteed the money, has now advanced to winners finals, is guaranteed top 3. At the end of the day, a guaranteed $1,500 for Kerbolicious with that victory, and Hijinx is still in this.
Maybe taking a little mini hiatus and just ready to roll again. Here they are, winners semis.
Even going back to the very first pro competition, Arma, this was these two were tied in points for the final position in Final Combat. They were tied. All it came down to was one result that let Kombat in. Otherwise, Semiij could have been in final combat as well. These two have been that neck and neck for so long and at the highest possible level. But like I said today, I haven't seen Semiij in this robotic of a form in a long time, and I feel like this outfit is very befitting. If you guys aren't familiar with the meme, Semiij.exe, it's because we think he's part robot. He might be full robot. He's a machine. He was programmed by NetherRealm, I feel like, to murder us.
He was programmed in Ed Boon's basement, where he makes the games. It just also makes Semiij to be good at them. Gets that crushing blow, and that's going to be enough to seal that deal. In combat, looking a little different here with the Joker, a little bit more normal reliant. You know, obviously Joker's got those extended normals thanks to the cane, and with this, with the Kapow, able to convert in some really, really good damage. Obviously, he doesn't have the mix because Kapow does get rid of the Bird Boy down, which hits an overhead. Still a really good character.
Absolutely. You know, this character in Cassie fits Semiij so perfectly in that she is just a fundamental beast, which is, I think, everything that defines Semiij as a player. Everything that she has is great. It's not super flashy, and I just witnessed one of the coolest pieces of tech ever, the forward 3 of Jokers. Doing it dirty for combat here. Look at the reward for it. That is going to be close to the round 2.89. Wow. Look who's prepared himself. It is none other than that finalist from the previous competition, Kombat. That was disgusting.
So good here. Yeah, we're going to be connecting, no problem here. That piece of tech, so specific to Cassie Cage. And again, you know, we alluded to this, definitely doing his homework. And, you know, I feel like sometimes Semiij puts himself in the box with this game because really, really loves playing Cassie Cage. So, you know, you got to wonder, how much am I leaving out on the table? How much am I showing everybody that I know here? Oh, good block of the overhead afterwards. And even right there, Kombat didn't go for that aggressive forward 3, but instead just kind of went for the flawless block to minimize that block stun there. Just simply dashing up, forward throw, gonna keep Semiij really far away, really, never mind, just closing that gap here, bridging it with those big buttons from the Joker. Kombat still has a slight lead here, definitely a trade in his favor. Semiij goes for that wake up 3.
Neutral's reset here, backing off his combat. Look at the movement with Joker right now. He is just skating across the dance floor and loves using that amplified jack-in-the-box to force a control of the pace of the match. You know, it slows down Semiij's movement, slows down his thought process a little bit, gives him something to think about for a moment. Even full screen, lucky that the final gunshot didn't connect right there. And what's spacing on the forward 4? I thought that was out of range, but the tip was there for Semiij, but still block goes Kombat, takes the turn, lands the hit, and game 1 goes to him. And this was down to 8 seconds in a final round, both under 30%. That is insanely close, ladies and gentlemen, and what I expected between these two players.
Yeah, I love the use of resource there from Kombat, being able to dash cancel that fatal blow. You know, just in case Semiij didn't get hit there in that scenario, it seemed like it was like a trip guard. So had Semiij not committed some buttons on the way up, might have been able to land and actually block, but in that case, Kombat still would have had the momentum, still would have had the ability to, you know, move in or out, or maybe get tricky and go for a throw. Obviously, huge risk, but either way, Kombat able to hit confirm with it, no problem. Kombat is looking incredible here, looking like we're going to be having the next trip over to the winners finals. But first, you have to get through.
I want to give people a quick update as well. There was a match that already happened off stream that is going to set up the loser of this match in the semifinals, or sorry, quarterfinals down there. Gurr ended up taking it over the Mighty Unjust. The Mighty Unjust has been eliminated from this finale. Gurr is going to be facing the loser of this coming up. And Kombat off to an explosive start every time. Throughout that sentence, I just heard the boxing gloves going off. Insanity.
You know, as soon as you hear that boxing glove, the little creaking of, you know, those little joints, you know, lots and lots of damage is being done by the Joker. Looks like Kombat tried to get up really a little too early there from that gunshot. I know a lot of people like to move in after the projectile, just to, again, get as much advantage as possible. Kombat close enough to connect that forward two for a nice punish. What a well-timed breakaway from Semiij, getting really aggressive here. Perfect timing to get that punish and the side switch. Kombat in a bad spot, and Semiij just backing off. I'm actually surprised that he's not going in for the kill, but would rather have the breathing room. Gonna be doing huge amounts of damage here. Not able to connect anything yet. Going for the fake throw to make Semiij kind of think that maybe that crushing blow requirement is going to be fulfilled here. And Kombat connecting that combo, no problem. As soon as Fatal Blow was available, accessible again, cashed in big time here. Of course, didn't need all this damage, but just for good measure, 43%.
This pickup of the Joker for Kombat is looking really good. Had to go to Johnny earlier in the bracket, but I'm glad that he's kind of stuck with his first choice, believing in it as well. And we already saw the early tech against Cassie, and that's really one of the layer one things that you have to get by against Cassie Cage, is not letting her get away with that gun flip. Now that Kombat has established that, and if you've noticed, since he has established that in game number 1, Semiij ain't doing it an awful lot on block anymore. He's playing a lot more back, a little more footsie-oriented, slower pace, and not as aggressive, not in just using it, but also ending his strings.
Round 1. Fight.
Here we go, game number 3. Oh, already with the correct read was Kombat right there. We're punching the down 4, beautifully spaced low from Semiij right there. There's one thing I'm going to say a lot from Semiij, it's something that's beautifully spaced. This kid wakes up in the morning and he breathes footsies. I don't know how he does it, but my goodness. Also one of the best at anti-airing, I believe, in Mortal Kombat history. He also picks characters that have some of the best anti-airs on top of that and start to end the round. Semiij all over him.
Fight.
You just gave me really bad flashbacks of Melina's down 1. That did
I had the
everything
same
at
thing.
MKX.
I had a slight stutter as well, where I'm like, oh, it was the, you know, the character also has some really good anti-airs, you know?
Semiij looking a lot better in this game, getting that first round victory over Kombat. But Kombat not really letting him phase it at all. Good block of the overhead from Semiij, able to recognize that string, stand up just in time. The high shots getting through over Kombat, and Kombat definitely getting the better of that trade, especially if you're talking about the frame advantage. Right on hit, being able to go on top of Semiij, being able to be the aggressor on Wake Up. Oh, the neutral jump. You love it. You love to see it. Neutral jump 1 from the Joker as he just kind of expands all his arms out. Delay Wake Up screwed up the timing there for Kombat, and he decides to come off that breakaway. He's not playing any games. He is willing to make that trade there just to finish this round. Going in a final round, and Kombat on match point here. Semiij playing for his first tournament life here. Doesn't want to go into the lower bracket against Gur.
Kombat, who I believe was, what, 4th at Final Kombat, looking to guarantee himself top 3 in the NA East Regional, and was the NA East champion of the previous pro competition. So he's looking to pick up right where he left off just a year and change ago.
That's right. The online pro comp for the first year. Yeah, that was a good chunk of those points that Kombat got. But yeah, you got to remember, both these guys are finalists there from Final Kombat, just barely getting in there, both of them. The down 2 crushing blow as Joker's teeth just come flying out of his face. Good stand block there. Good recognition from Semiij. Here comes the Jack in the Box. Semiij able to block just in time, trying to get crazy with those interactables, but the bad CPU stopping him there right in his tracks.
Oh, well, conversion there. I'm loving these staggers from Semiij right now. Both the 1-1 and that forward, the spacing that he's creating, and then the whiff punishes afterwards, just sitting back, naturally reacting to how Kombat handles these staggers. The game plan is starting to come into effect here by Semiij. He's starting to warm up, survives a match point against him, and let's see if he can continue this.
Love to see it, man. Love to see the shift in momentum. Love to see the adaptation, but you are going to be playing with fire here. Kombat free and willing to play any character he needs to for the given situation. Like Mr. Aquaman alluded to before, did play some Johnny Cage, but looks like he's going to stick it out here with the Joker. The possible mindset is, I won the first 2 games with the same character, the same matchup, the same variation, so I should be able to win one of these next 2 games. So let's not stray away from the plan. Let's try to out-adapt, out-adjust against Semiij, but sometimes that is a very, very tough thing to do.
Round 1.
Real quick, I have another massive update. Pulse
Tell me.
defeats Hayate in the lower bracket
That is
to
incredible,
advance
man.
to face Hijinx.
Pulse is one of those players that is just like not really able to go to, you know, all the big major events that first year Mortal Kombat 11, but, you know, did go to MK11, did go to the locals, and, you know, kind of shown that he can hang with the best of them. And right now proving it once again in the online platform. Taking a win over Hayate is a really, really big victory there for Pulse. So shout out to the Goon Squad. For some of you guys out there, really
Can I also just note that the Goon Squad needs those jerseys that are like the Toon Squad from Space Jam?
needs it. Somebody get a graphic designer on that. I know Sweat MD can do it. So big shout outs to Sweat MD. Go out there
I
and
want to
make
see all the
the Goon
goons
Squad.
show up to an offline event, all in their Goon Squad outfits, and just wreck and shop in the bracket here. Just like Semiij, just starting to wreck this comeback, baby. Let's go. Keep this set going. I want to see a game 5 here. This is for top 3. This is for so much guaranteed money.
A stand 2-1 here from the Joker as he just kind of uses those crazy normals from the nameless man in the wheelchair, the poor souls that just die over and over again here. Stand 2 into the cup. Pow, no problem for Kombat. And he's got a perfect position here to continue this dominance, to continue this oppression. What's Semiij gonna do? Hits the anti-air, that back 3. Yes, that is just a regular back 3. It's a very tough button to jump in on, and Semiij, knowing that, knows it's an easy way to get a little bit of breathing room. Doesn't finish the full string, maybe just looking for a little stagger. And the neutral jump 1, Kombat's answer to really trying to just bait out those slower normals or bait out those throw attempts.
Yeah, that was just pretty galactic right there. Making a read on Semiij, going for the reversal throw. Really anything that Joker neutral jump 1 is so strong. He's got one of those lengthier, really active, more importantly, probably really active jump 1s that catch so many people off guard trying to anti-air. Nice side switch by Semiij. Gonna get the restand with a nut kick. And not disrespecting that, it was Kombat whatsoever. What's going to be in the post block? And that's where the mind games are. Even Semiij was like, I don't know if he's going to neutral jump or not right there. Instead, the patience, the jump over himself. Now he's one hit away from sending us to that game 5. Can he pull it off? And the 1-1 was quick enough to do it. Semiij is coming back to life slowly but surely here. This is what I wanted between these two. I don't think that I could have predicted who was going to take this one. You know, almost for all the reasons I said before. They've kind of been in the hyperbolic time chamber for a while, both of these guys, and they're here performing like they have been.
Yeah, it almost feels like they haven't skipped a beat. And you know, a lot of people get, especially in a highly competitive world, a highly competitive domain like the FGC, a lot of people get gassed out on, you know, certain games if they're playing it too much. You know, it definitely doesn't hurt to sometimes take like a little hiatus, take a step back, you know, slow down, reevaluate, and, you know, get back into it, you know, slowly but surely. As we can see here, doing a lot of wonders here for both these players. Going down to the wire in Kombat, switching over to Johnny Cage for the pick. Gonna break away immediately, forcing Semiij to come off some bar. But again, still has that 1 bar remaining if he does find that hit. So Kombat's got to think twice about getting too aggressive, too risky. And there's the neutral jump 1. Semiij coming down with a huge fury of combos. Impeccable execution from Semiij, getting stopped there with that forward roll. Semiij just tastes blood in the water, man. He is ready to strike here as Kombat just knocking on the door of defense. Getting out of there, the tech. Kombat all over it. Stopping Cassie Cage in the sky, saying, stop that. I know how to deal with it. It doesn't matter what character I'm playing. I know how to deal with it.
You almost feel like Semiij was trying to check him to make sure that he could deal with it with Johnny Cage, right? And they're doing it raw, messing up any kind of reversal timing or even decision making just so we got the side switch to avoid the corner. One decision here for both, and Semiij, did he really just do that? Dude, I don't know Semiij to take a risk like that. He bet it all right there, and he gives Kombat another match point because of it.
Round 2.
I mean, I guess what Semiij was doing was he was balancing that risk reward. You'll get it, cool, you win the round. You don't get it, okay, you lose the round, but you don't come off the fatal blow, and you can use it later for a big combo, or maybe another crazy read. Delay wake up, but he didn't commit to the whole thing. Very unlike Semiij. I mean, when he knows something's gonna happen, he knows something is gonna happen. Delaying wake up does screw up the timing for a lot of things, especially if you're trying to throw on that initial wake up, the regular no delay wake up timing. Oh, big shadow kick here. Kombat possibly could have gone for a bigger punish with some normals, but didn't want to take any chances, didn't want to, you know, risk dropping it or missing the opportunity entirely here, especially considering this huge lead that he does have, especially considering the fact that he is on match point here over the other side, and he didn't commit again, but does get the pissed off armor break going right through Semiij on life support here. Kombat should have it, no problem. The down one to seal the deal and jumping back for demonstration of the beautiful friendships that are between these two players. These combatants have been going back and forth for so long, but today the victor is going to be Kombat as he moves on to the winners finals. Kombat guaranteed third place or better, and unfortunately for Semiij, gonna have to fight in the Shark Tank down there for his tournament life.
We talked about going into the lower bracket in that first round, and everyone this weekend has made huge strides. And right now, Pulse is on that tear, beating Showa, beating Full Auto, beating Hayate, all in a row. Hijinx coming off of the loss. We'll see what happens when fire meets ice a little bit as far as momentum in these brackets. Pulse definitely gonna be feeling himself after a victory like that. Hayate, a only world finalist. And I said that correctly, guys. Only a world finalist. But Hijinx is off to the start here. This is a mirror, not the one not the pick I was expecting for Pulse. Perhaps was thinking some Aaron Black, but opted for the Jackie mirror here. And he's walking to the people's elbow. What kind of a read was that from Hijinx? The distance that he did that at. He had no right to do that at the range that he did it. That was incredible.
And sometimes you just gotta drop it on your opponent, see if they can deal with it, and it just kind of helps. It helps out with a little bit of conditioning here. Pulse going with some crazy staggers, and there we go, finally getting on offense, finally finding that successful hit there as Hijinx just kind of bleeding a little bit from the damage over time. Kind of hard to keep track of whose DOT belongs to who. I wish it was a different color here. Gets that crushing blow requirement thanks to the counter hit and the call out here from Pulse to call out that breakaway, throw down that DOT, but it's just so hard to keep Jackie down and on the ground, but Pulse finding the hit, getting the nice hit confirmed, and because he had no bar, went right into a dash punch, and it was just enough damage here for both players.
Okay. Looking like a true mirror match, both in character and move selection right there. That was gorgeous. Hijinx has the positioning in the health lead though, and
Had enough sports.
jump in throw. So many things you're worried about there. Love that he's getting that started here early on. Puts him on to the dot damage. Says get back over there and sniped it from the air. The whole thing, he picked up conversion. What kind of conversion was that? Even at the amplification, I thought that there was going to be no gravity right there whatsoever. What kind of conversion was that? Chat, I need an answer. I've never seen that before.
It was so specific, and I feel like you can only do it to a character with a super jump like Jackie because she's so high in the sky, like higher than like a regular jump arc.
Yeah.
So when she got hit by the upshot, meter burned the straight one. I kind of feel like Hijinx delayed it like a little bit just on purpose, and then went right into the dash punch. That was so good.
I just watched it back on the stream. I pulled up the stream just so I could see it back, and he held it for so long before shooting the second one and still got the hit. And I wonder if that comes into play. I wonder if that is the tech, because I think that he held it because it hit so high, right? Because it hit so high, he's like, oh man, she's gonna be out there in outer space. I gotta wait for her to re-enter Earth's orbit. That takes a while, and he still converted.
So good. So good. Now, despite Pulse taking that second round in the last game, you know, I feel like he was in there. He was fighting, but it possibly could have been too much of a wash there at the end in that final round that he's just not feeling the Jackie mirror at all. So now we're going with the usual pick that we were expecting that Aquaman alluded to earlier on the stream, and that's going to be Aaron Black. Now, Pulse kind of always seen as an Aaron Black player that isn't really willing to take too many risks until the chips are down, until that final, you know, up against the rope moment. So for the most part, he's pretty safe, pretty patient, and willing to block a lot of things here. But we do have that low shot equipped, so it's going to add some nice versatility to our mix department here. So you can just kind of cancel those strings that normally go an overhead right into a low shot.
And it's safe, it kind of resets neutral, and in this matchup, it might be even more beneficial for Aaron Black because Jackie is primarily known for having really short range. I mean, it's not going to matter here whatsoever. He wasn't even able to play the game once we got to the corner here.
Fight.
All right, but that was Pulse being really disrespectful. He was just like, oh, she's got no meter, so she's not going to actually swing because it's not going to get her that much, but Hijinx was 100% willing to swing and get as much damage as possible despite not having meter. Nice down one as an anti-air here from Pulse goes to the regular overhead despite previously the last two times going for the low, and that low still going to be working here, and that's because Hijinx knows how much more Aaron Black gets for the overhead successfully hitting versus that low just kind of knocking you down. Double boot drop! You love to see it. Big crushing blow here, not just for the damage, but also for the ability to shake up somebody's mentality. Yes, you just got hit by double forward 4.
That is the mix-up at the end of the day. Are you going to expect it or not? Everyone just assumes that they're going to see it coming. Oh, no mix-up there. Every single back two into the low shot has worked out here for Pulse. And none of them have really got blocked. Oh, that was a
mega
monumental
read. Big brain read. Dude, big brain play coming out of Pulse. Saw the jump coming, knew the throw was going to be followed up, and not only that, but able to execute the down two fast enough against a character like Jackie, who pulls all the way back after she's done whiffing that throw. But the tables are completely tied here as Hijinx able to turn it on his side. It's a regular jab hitting him at the end and the anti-air. This is not really going to scale. I believe this should be enough, especially considering that Jackie is a 950 character. This last little part doesn't do too much, but it does enough. 33%. He just anti-aired right into Fatal Blow. Didn't even need to hit confirm it. He said, I know the stand one is hitting. I know this stand one is hitting right here.
One of the first times I ever saw Pulse compete, I want to say that it was at like an NLBC or something like that. It was one of those Northeast tournaments. I tune in, I see the name Pulse. Yeah, could have been MKNJ. And I see Pulse on the screen, and the first thing I see is this God tier stand one anti-air, and I went, what?
Jackie.
Absolutely, what? And he's still doing it to this day. That's one thing that's always impressed me about Pulse has been his anti-air ability. With that Aaron Black stand one, mwah, it's like watching art.
He's very, very patient. Like, as you can see, he really loves playing the ground game. You know, doesn't really jump around too much, and you know, even against a character like Jackie with incredible, you know, air mobility, with incredible options while she's in the air, he's still able to pull off incredible things like that stand one. And yeah, maybe that fatal blow wouldn't have killed a regular character, but remember, Jackie does have 5% less health. She has 950 versus your standard, you know, 1000 that most of the cast has. Making that super jump here, going straight down with the Shartnel. Immediately the acid is in play. Tries to go for the cattle toss, the command grab, but nobody was there. Jackie definitely letting go of block to not be susceptible to it. And here comes a big combo. No breakaway from Pulse though. Good call out.
These are beautiful setups of the damage over times. Giving Aaron Black a little taste of his own medicine with that acid that we see so often. Hasn't been used against Jackie here. Pulse keeps it nice and simple with this pressure. It's just going to be constant mix-ups. And little did we know that he also brought the command grab, which adds a little bit of mix-ups in and of itself on top of the, again, safe low option here. We got the 4-hit full screen juggle with the command grab. Gorgeous. Pulse with Aaron Black looks like an entirely different player, and I think that it's just going home and getting back into the comfort zone of the character. And these anti-airs are friggin' ridiculous. Ooh! There's a stick of dynamite for you. Oh my goodness, these mix-ups right now. He's holding the low, he's holding the safe multi-hitting string. We're straight into the command grab. Every single hit right now is over for Pulse. We're working on a hook perfect, and it's gone. I take that back. This is gonna be an awful lot of damage for Jackie. The rare drop from Hijinx, barely off with the back one, and Pulse is gonna punish him fully for it. Send him back to the corner. Here's another stick for you. Whee! Put out the acid, and there's a taste of your medicine, Mrs. Briggs. Sit back down. Pulse, where was this Aaron Black? Oh my goodness, this is a different monster entirely. So impressive. As Pulse's Aaron Ben. Hijinx looking a little lost in the sauce here. Staring down the barrel. I'm not going to make that pun. I'm not going to make that pun. I'm just going to stop it right in his tracks. But he needs to make an adjustment here.
Oh, man, I know.
Oh, man. I promised myself I wouldn't. I promised myself I wouldn't.
It's okay. I believe you. I believe you. I believe in you. Yeah, man. Pulse's, ability to really work with that command grab. The command grab is such a sick asset to his tool set, and specifically the way it works is it kind of throws you in the opposite direction of his regular throw. So depending on where the asset is, kind of tells you, which throw he's willing to take. The command grab throws him behind, the other throws just kind of toss you in front of him. So it all depends on that placement of the asset here. Tries to challenge those plus frames there from that little elbow to knee drop. And Pulse getting a little disrespectful here in what could possibly be that last game, that last ditch effort to win.
Oh my, how consistent is Pulse at not just having the anti-airs, but having a read on when Hijinx is going to end that pressure, because Hijinx, if in any of those anti-air situations with the down one, did a double blast, it would be a completely different match, wouldn't it? He's just on point with reading Hijinx's pressure right now.
Just completely stopping here. He doesn't want to take a risk. He doesn't want to take any kind of risk, so keeping it real safe here is Pulse as he goes into the low gunshot. Doesn't even poke back, gets the down one, able to kind of confirm that Jackie is there, confirm that he's got that frame advantage, and goes straight for it. Yeah, gonna chip him out, no problem at all. Those gunshots come out so quickly. They don't really have travel time. It's just immediately like a real bullet.
Oh, right out of the air as well. The 360 no-scope from downtown. That would have been a Call of Duty highlight right there.
Playing a little COD, I see. Oh, hold on a second. Hijinx going back to Mortal Kombat 11 here. Lots of buttons right on top. Pulse able to get there, but not in time for that punish. Gets the forward 4 boot drop. Doesn't go for the second one. Instead goes for just a simple little stagger. Stand 2 into a command grab. But unfortunately, that throws your opponent out of the corner. But that's okay. One more command grab to throw back into the corner. How does he know Hijinx isn't going to jump? How does he know Hijinx is not going to jump? Just like that. Lots of damage coming your way. The throw reset. You got to love it, but be careful, Hijinx. That fatal blow is on deck and ready to go. He can let it rip at any time. You just gave your opponent some good resources, and just like that, Pulse gave it right back to him. The dash punch for the punish, rolling to get away from the DOT. Such smart stuff here from Pulse, but he's running out of resources here. His bar slowly coming back, and he's on top of that DOT.
I'm
sorry,
scared.
acid doesn't heal Aaron Black. He threw the acid down on the DOT.
All of a sudden has the health lead here. Gets that little bit of chip damage. There was 1 or 2 on block right there. Not want to deal with that acid. Oh, this got... Just because of the block on the scud shot, that made this really scary. He's gonna fall into the acid. He avoids it so much. Oh my goodness, Hijinx pulls off the miracle. The absolute miracle. The Elder Gods' divine blessing just came down from the heavens for Hijinx. Oh my goodness.
I don't believe it, man. And I don't believe Hijinx got through all those obstacles. Hijinx able to get past the defensive wall of Pulse, open him up, but that's okay. Pulse right now working on the flawless steal, back-to-back command grabs, just like we saw in the previous round, but Hijinx was able to turn it around, and that's gonna be Whip City, whipping for days, recovering for literally years as Hijinx gets up and really does and tacks on some damage, nearly 38%. Pulse with the trip guard, and of course getting his jaw opened up completely. Hijinx running away with this here. Hijinx gonna be taking game number 4. We're going to a game 5, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, this is the way we want to see it. This is the way we love our Mortal Kombat 11. The highest possible gameplay, one of the most competitive regions out there, and down to the freaking wire. Game 5 scenarios all around. Who's Pulse going to go to? I really feel like Aaron Black definitely has it. I wouldn't necessarily say that that was a choke there at the end, but I think it was just more of a took his eyes off the road just for a second.
Yeah.
Just for a second. Pulse took his eyes off the road.
The only thing I could think of, because we look back here, like, should he have just blocked and let the acid do the work for him? Or did he, at the back of his mind, think that the acid was going to end when that second rotation came around, and that's when he needed to get aggressive? Because he had been super aggressive on those down ones when Jackie was leaping. I even saw a leap whiff right in front of his face, and he did a down one super late. So he kind of had it dialed in there towards the end. Maybe he felt himself a little bit, maybe being a little bit overconfident. But that last moment, will that come back to bite Pulse when it felt like he was in full control, had all the momentum in his favor, and for Hijinx to get that win and then dominate him in that round, we could have a turning point.
Yeah, could absolutely have a turning point right now. I mean, the players adapting for the best of them, whether that's with, you know, specific strategies or sometimes just simply changing the characters, as we see Pulse switching over to Aaron Black. And yeah, he's going to downplay Aaron Black. He's going to say Aaron Black is bad and needs buffs. But hey, this is the character where he feels most comfortable with, and he's showing it here while facing one of the toughest opponents of his esports career. Trying to avoid that interactable best he can, trying to connect with that boot drop, the overhead boot drop, and here's some loops coming out of Hijinx. One more challenge with that forward 3, that big kick.
No pain, no gain.
Oh!
So, oh my god, so much damage. So much damage coming out of Jackie.
Absolute death right there. And look at the jump 1 range of Jacqueline Bay Briggs. That thing catches so many people off guard in those final couple of active frames. People think that they're safe. There's a little Peacemaker. They get Pulse one little hit here. This has been all Hijinx since that debacle of the acid. The infamous MK11 acid debacle of 2021 is what I'm going to call that moment. And even through the double hits, I don't think that was a combo. That may have been an American reset. Welcome to North America.
I love it, yeah. NA East, here we are. Oh, Pulse looking for some kind of anti-air, but the force of Jackie coming down big time here. And yeah, Hijinx taking that last game pretty decisively here. It almost seemed like, you know, from the acid debacle or acid gate, if you will, Pulse was never really able to recollect himself. Pulse was never really able to shake off the devastation that has happened to him.
Joker, so I feel like he does have this kind of cool, eclectic, weirder play style as well, which is what we saw in Adam too, in Injustice. More so with Injustice. He also played Deadshot for a while, so I'll just stop there.
And he's going to be going up against
the show.
He's going to be going up against the machine. Now, Semiij, a lot of people don't know, but Semiij actually knows how to play a lot of different characters, at least on like a semi-high level. But for the most part, he kind of just uses that as a way to like understand matchups or understand mentalities of other characters or other players. He really kind of just likes to fine-tune one or two different characters. During Injustice 2, it was mainly just Catwoman, but he played a lot of different characters, pretty much the cast, just to kind of, again, understand what it's like to walk a mile in their shoes. So Semiij definitely knows a thing or two about everybody's character. Going right for this crushing blow, gonna be doing a lot of damage. Gur in a bad spot, running out of health, and susceptible to anything that's gonna lead into death. A lost round here, and Semiij off to a great start.
These are two of the smartest players in our community right here that put the time into the lab, that have such knowledge of the game, mechanics, the matchups themselves. I expect this to be just a beautiful display of how the game is going to be at the highest level. The matchup we have rarely seen since that first season as well. Cassie, not one of the more popular characters in competitive play, and in fact, incredibly rare right now. So the Semiij sticking it out with his guns, no pun intended right there, I promise, is a beautiful thing to see because he was in a little bit of a character crisis for a while, if you remember.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember the agony of what do I play, and you know, a lot of people kind of felt like that they wanted to play a certain character, and you know, it just wasn't enough to fulfill their competitive desire to win. So sometimes you just gotta give up hope and pick a top tier. Oh, little short hop doesn't go anywhere though. Semiij stopping him right there with the gut kick. That mid just coming at your way, and Gur getting insane. Getting insane. He thought Semiij was so willing to swing back for their turn that he purposely went into, you know, that very unsafe special move at the end of the string because he's like, okay, this is a scramble. This is down to the wire. Semiij is going to get aggressive. He keeps trying to reversal forward 3 me. He's going to try it again, but this time I'm going to catch him. And Semiij was just like a little aware of that, kind of, you know, feeling it somewhere in there that maybe I should slow down. Maybe I should chill out and not get too aggressive, not let my emotions get the better of me. But that's easy because Semiij is a machine and he has no emotions. He's just perfectly calculated.
Right. Zero emotions whatsoever. And that's also reflective of, if you've ever seen Semiij, I mean, he's a, I don't want to say a stone-faced killer because he's like one of the nicest guys on the planet. Both of those gentlemen are. But like his face does not change no matter what's going on in the game. He could be losing 20-0 and he'll look the same as if he's winning 20-0.
He's got some pop-offs. You can look back at like Combo Breaker Top 8 when he beat Dragon, but it was a very mild pop-off. It was like
that's what it was like.
It made a
little bit.
it was the equivalent of making a comeback in like Combat League, where it's just like, yes, I did it. But like, dude, you're on like the biggest stage here, the huge, you know, major, and you defeated one of the most dominant players in the scene. But that's just how Semiij is.
Listen, I have bigger pop-offs than Semiij when I go to McDonald's and their ice cream machine's working. Like, come on.
Oh, I love Semiij, man. I love Gur too. Where Gur is kind of the opposite. Gur is very, very emotional. Like when you see Gur lose, you feel like you just lost. Like you feel the disappointment. You feel, you know, his agony of losing like that, especially in like, you know, very, very close fashion. If you guys want a point of reference, watch the end of Scar versus Gur at the Injustice 2 Grand Finals. My heart sank when I saw that look on Gur's face. He just cried, no, no, no. Oh, so bad. So bad. But right now he's got the clone up there trying to get Semiij to get trapped there with that little shifting sands. You know, it's all about reducing that mobility, but Cassie Cage has some pretty good moves. You know, she's got the she's got some forward advancing charge just like that to try to get her out of there, but you know, it is a very unsafe thing. Did you see him wave dash around it and then he punished it on a whiff? No, he didn't.
All right, that looked like, you know, there were a lot of people that had answers to it that were just like single buttons, right? Whether it be a jump 2 that we saw from Combat or the forward 3 from Joker, but that required some incredible execution. High key.
That wins. That one wins, and that one takes the cake in terms of dealing with that specific tech. Wave dash into low sand. So easy to screw any of that part up.
And Gearus's wave dash, if you guys have never tried Gearus's wave dash, he moves an inch. He like does a truffle shuffle 2 inches forward, and that's about it. And again, a very highly executed mechanic in this game. And it's down to a couple of frames. Whoa, all of a sudden, all the straight hits, and he perfectly times that sand trap. And he's going to give him the judo chop from hell to send 395 damage on the Cassie Cage. Very little whiff recovery on the command grab as well. That's one of the huge benefits of Gearus's mid command grab, is it's actually much faster on recovery than most other mid command grabs in the game. Oh, he's cornered here. And a beautiful pickup of just the straight hit. And one of the conversion kings of our community is Semiij as well. Has always been incredibly impressive in his stagger game. Sexy right now. As he's trying to maintain the lead. Still has the fatal blow. Gonna be looking for a hit confirm here. Pre-committed was Gur to the down 4. Thought that the pressure was gonna end in a very similar manner to that. What? Was that out of range?
Oh, it's Semiij dropped it, but somehow gets the scramble down too. Doesn't block the last part. Gur has no resources. He can't block anything unless maybe it's a flawless block. He's got the clone out and he gets clipped in the shin.
That
so
was
unfortunate there.
Cassie Cage.
all of the options that Gur had, and I can't believe Semiij, Semiij tempted him to just do something other than block that shot. I think that Gur had much more options there to win than Semiij did in that final interaction. Once the clone was up, that turned that situation to something entirely different. Whether it be the implication, whether it be teleporting right on top of him, and if he reads it, that low gunshot at full screen, gonna have a lot of recovery.
Yeah.
And Gur
Yeah,
not wanting to tempt fate, Semiij just said, you know what? Do something or block this and die.
Yeah, no, it definitely. It was the right call there for Semiij. It was just kind of, again, Semiij understanding the resources, understanding that Gur had nothing left. Both bars completely depleted from last breath mechanic, and you can't do more than 2 last breaths in the game because 1 last breath makes your defensive bar completely disappear. So, you know, that was just a calculated risk, a risk that Semiij was willing to take, and it paid off. Gur going in there with the mid to meat, definitely hitting down to the first time, getting hit, but the lack of commitment from Gur really opened the opportunity for Semiij to continue hitting down 2 there afterwards. Low shot, we're right next to the clone. Are we gonna pop it? No, maybe. Yes, we do. We pop it. Shifting sands, moving Cassie Cage just a little bit here, but Semiij totally content with it, not getting too crazy. Gur challenging at the right time there from that cancel, catching that command grab. Mid command grabs are very fair in this game because they force you to jump if you're trying to avoid it.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about forcing that guess right is what it's all about. And Gears has, I don't know, I think the most tick throws with a mid command grab as well. He can tick throw off of almost all of his single hitting buttons. Stand 1, stand 2, forward 2, down 1, down 4. I don't know about down 3. I don't really try that one an awful lot, but that's a lot of opportunities to mix up. But Semiij is starting to run away with this. I was about to talk about how impressive Gur's reversals have been, like you called out on the cancels. It just hasn't been enough to stop the machine from that download. Getting closer and closer to being completed.
Just a little bit here. It's just the tournament life is ticking away from Gur. Semiij on match point, trying to fight back here with that big little elbow dash here. Gets the empty jump throw. Gur anticipating buttons for days. The flawless block, so minimizing that chip as best as possible. A very delayed shimmy there, possibly to sniff out, you know, kind of a fuzzy let go of block situation. Oh, the flawless block up to from Gur. Haven't seen that in quite some time. Definitely the best up to animation in the game, but a huge whiff, and that's going to be Semiij taking the victory over Gur here. Gur eliminated from the tournament in 3-0 fashion, but let me tell you, those games still went down to the
they were tight.
fire, man. So
there were a couple of moments
close
for Gur. I think there was one round in particular where there was a command grab that looked like it almost should have hit. It was so close to him, almost really similar to the last one that we saw that barely whiffed. That would have, I feel like, gotten Gur back into this thing close, but not enough here today for Gur. Still getting into the prizing, making top 8. So congratulations on that, going out at 5th place.
Out there, but right now let's focus on Kombat versus Curbolicous. New school versus old school. Here comes Gears right with the low sand trap out the gate as Curbolicous trying to use those extended normals from Cabal. The back one, such a good normal, such a good asset here to his tool set.
There's that forward 3. It's going to be huge when it comes to anti-air, knocking Cabal out of the sky. Kerbo is obviously a very airborne player. His character is a very airborne character, but one thing about him is that it doesn't need to be that way. We certainly see him playing footsies. We certainly see him approaching otherwise. Right now, he's got that. Kombat, very cautious.
you can kind of see how Kombat's being like, very, like kind of taking an extra step back because he knows what Cabal's jump 2 is capable of, how far out it does go. So he's kind of trying to trick Kerbo into committing in the air with that. So let's see how Kerbo adjusts. Probably going to be seeing some empty jumps coming out of him and maybe a little bit less commitment. But right now, Kombat getting that easy, easy hit confirm here. Lots of damage thanks to that one bar. And even a little bit of, I'd say, swag there at the end.
Hanging out
Not
a
really
little
going
bit,
for
yeah.
the easy. Very timing specific there. Wanted to just push him closer and closer to the corner. Curbolicous going for that auto ship. And Kombat again, the spacing, outpacing him here right before our very eyes. Oh, fake throw attempt. This time goes for the real one. Flawless block up 2.
Kombat is the one who's playing offensive. Oh, okay, no, it was a trade. Say what? Stand one? It didn't end up working out, though. Kombat waltzes back in. He's got pressure. He could have had something there. And jump early kick versus jump splash, 2 really different timings. If you're trying to flawless block, that's going to be a ton of damage. And it's enough! It's enough. Kombat was the one who was jumping all over Kerbo. Now, usually it's the other way around. Usually Kerbo is the one who's on top of you. Slight gas here and there. Jump over, jump kick, jump buttons. He's the one who's pressuring in that way. In this match, that's not how it went. It was actually Kombat doing that work instead.
You know, Kombat doing a good job of just, and I feel like he forced Kerbo to kind of stop going around and press buttons. And it's really tough to make a Cabal player do that because I feel like Cabal's got some of the best buttons in this game in terms of range, in terms of, you know, where your relative hurt box is during those active frames. But Kombat, just with a little bit more patience, a little bit like fine-tuned attention to, you know, walking back and the whiff punishes, kind of just made Kerbo feel like I can't press buttons. And once he got to that, Kerbo started relying on the flawless block. Then when he started relying on the flawless block, that's when Kombat said, all right, it's party time. Here come the early jump 3s. Here come the late body splashes. Here come the empty jumps into throws. Kombat able to take that convincingly here. Instant
and
jump
he read
one.
exactly what Kerbo wanted to do. Yeah, with that instant jump 1. That was him knowing where Kerbo was headed.
Poor choice.
He's gonna get pressure he wants. He doesn't necessarily want. Look at this. Very, very unusual timings here in mid-range. Okay, so we saw Kerbo now do the same thing that Kombat did before. No! Getting a little scrambly. Okay, this time the confirm comes. It's gonna be back in the corner. It's gonna be Kerbo in trouble. Way too far. Oh boy. You know, honestly, one more hit, if it's the right one, is all that Kerbo's gonna need. What does he get? Very, very safe game plan on Kombat side.
Slice and dice.
Oh.
You waste my time.
Huh.
I would have said, I'd say that's kind of a risky move because he jumped, but Kombat kind of waited for the down 1 check. Made sure the down 1 did get a successful hit, and from there was going to be plus enough to make it really hard to anti-air him just in case Kerbo did think he was going to go for it. And of course, Kombat is keeping in mind the spacing, the corner control here. As you can see, Curbolicous just locked down here, oppressed completely by these options. Does find a way out, but decides to go back in, and Kombat finding the hit. And this is just a steamroll here in round number 2. Kombat decimating Curbolicous. This is not looking good for him at all. I'm just gonna say it. Kerbo needs to dive deep into this arsenal of strategies because this Gears is running amok on him.
Well, it's really, really good offense. No doubt about that on Kombat side. But then what really sticks out to me as well is his defense. He has blocked a lot. He hasn't been so concerned about the throw. Cabal can still pressure after throw, so he presents a threat nevertheless, but his defense has been very block focused. He's defaulted to stand blocking just in case there is like air button into slight gas into another air button, that kind of stuff. He's been very smart about things defensively, and that's meant that Kerbo hasn't been able to do those big damage. This is a character that can pump it out. We're talking about 41%, 1 bar. We're talking about huge damage. And that hasn't even come up because Kombat hasn't presented that opportunity.
Yeah. I could see that, you know, coming into play, you know, as, you know, we dive deeper into this set, but, you know, we're pretty much at the, Okay, we got a. Oh no,
Okey
something
doke.
happened here. We got a
Something
lot
definitely
to-
happened here.
So we're gonna wait till we get the official word. You know, obviously things like this do happen. So many moving parts, so many people behind the scenes. Just again, a lot of effort and work made to put this into perspective, made to even make this possible. So you got to bear with us. We are at the mercy of, pretty much anything going wrong. So we're gonna wait to see what the producers say. This situation did happen before, but I don't know if the entire lobby disconnected or if the match is still being played somewhere. So hopefully we'll have some good news of a reconnection. We're just gonna have to wait and see. We're just gonna have
Yep,
to
we're
wait.
trying to figure this out for y'all. We'll see what's going on. We are, of course, playing on the internet. Y'all know how that goes. We got a pretty good game when it comes to online play here, but nothing's perfect.
I mean, we
Okay,
don't live in
the
a
game,
perfect world.
we are, and I'll tell you that we're not living in a perfect world because the game's still going. The players are still playing. It's just the observer that has left, and so it's a legit game. We're not going to make the players stop. We're not going to get them on the horn and tell them to quit doing their intense match. So we'll find out who maybe wins the set or maybe continues the set depending on which one of these two wins this game. I don't know what to tell you.
Let me just tell you, David, I'm 100% right now mentally rooting for Kerbo just so we can go back into the set later and see how it pans out, because the score was, I believe at the disconnect, the score was 2-0 in favor of Kombat. And, if Kombat does win this match that we're not unfortunately able to view right now, it is going to be the end of that set, the end of the winners finals. But we do have a lot of great matches. Yeah, a lot of great matches.
Let's take a look at some replays. Yeah, I mean, we have had a lot of great stuff so far today. Let's just recap this match so far for you, as we know that is going into that game 2-1. Kombat versus Kerbo. This game number one, again, I really feel like this is kind of the reverse of how we have often seen it go out. Kerbo is often the guy who's dancing around, pressuring, jumping, and instead it was Kombat playing that exact style, and he never really let Kerbo get going.
And again, it really, a lot of, kind of like I really love Kombat's attention to the spacing here. You really have to play against, or try to play outside of that comfort zone there, for both those players, whether that's, Geras doesn't really have really far advancing mids or far advancing normals the way that Cabal does, but he does have the special move that does reach anywhere. So it looks like Kombat is officially reporting here in the stream chat that it is 3-0 in their favor. And considering the timing, it might have not been much of a match that we missed. Just honestly out there, it was very, very fast. Kombat was here before we even knew it. So unfortunately for Curbolicous, he has lost his first tournament life, but keep in mind this is a double elimination tournament. That's not going to be the end of Curbolicous. That's going to be just him trying to descend above that shark tank that is the lower bracket. Curbolicous is going to be getting a one-way, or hopefully not a one-way ticket to losers finals, but is going to be in the losers finals, and they will be playing against the winner of our next match, which is going to be Hijinx versus Semiij. So like I said before, we have a lot of great matches still on deck, ready to go. Unfortunately, again, not a perfect world. You can go outside and you can see that for yourself. It's not a perfect world, but let's just try to put on a smile. Let's keep going, man.
Where it was 3-0, Kombat wants you all to know that the hypest moment happened in that last game, in game number 3. All right, what was this? He grabbed me with 1 second left, and I won before Cabal slammed me on the floor. Oh my god! So it was like the last possible instant where you could have won. That's amazing. Well, we'll all just have to imagine it in your minds. Just think in your mind about that moment. Picture it just for a second. That's as good as it's gonna get for you all today. The stuff he's done is, including in particular matches, his very minute understanding of how to counter very specific things, I think, has been really what's astounded me today. It's been super, super fun to watch.
Oh yeah, really, really fun stuff to watch there, but you don't want to see someone whiffing up 3. Lots of recovery there, and Jackie Briggs on the perfect side there. The jump over to the other side, making it whiff, cashing in big time. Semiij actually coming off that crushing blow. I actually don't know if that's going to be worth it, though. You're coming off a finite resource, but hey, could be the start of some kind of crazy comeback. Still has access to Fatal Blow if we do get down to that territory. Maybe one throw, one hit confirm. I think at this point into Fatal Blow might be enough, depending on how it starts, but no. Jackie Briggs coming out with the button. Semiij possibly thinking a throw was coming, possibly fuzzy guarding just in case a higher thrower coming, and it never came.
Oh, I love that. The things that I like the most to see out of Hijinx are things where he backs off, things where he jumps and then cuts the approach short. Like, it's those little extra moments of reading and understanding that I think are super, super cool to watch. Semiij with a chance to at least get something. Nope. Very light Hijinx in. Little bit of damage. That's okay as he harasses here. No offensive bars. Ooh, these individual hits. Right back into party. Hijinx. Right back in. Yeah, again, it's when he isn't just always pressuring, right? He did back off and he had a whiff punish to start things off at one point. He did cut his air approach short, knowing that Cassie has a fantastic anti-air. It's that kind of stuff that allows him then to actually move forward, actually get the big damage. He sets it up in part by not always going to the wall in that way.
Yeah, that's kind of
What's coming next?
yeah, and then, you know, keeping your opponent guessing, you know, not really falling into a predictable set of patterns or, you know, a little box of options, just kind of opens it up for yourself in terms of success when it comes to the fighting game.
So game 1 to Hijinx. Semiij has already made it through Hayate, Biohazard, Gur. It's already been tough. Only person to have sent him down to losers is the guy who's currently in grand finals. That's Kombat.
Round 1, fight.
Ah, interesting. Okay. It's an aggressive start, and that's something that we've seen here and there from Semiij. It's not just about the sort of solid safety that I think many of us expect from him. He has had risks in this top 16. Yo, what a call. This is what I'm talking about. It's that kind of stuff that I love to see from Hijinx, where he calls out what the opponent's going to do. He knew where the opponent was going to be.
Yeah, the shoulder charge just kind of puts you there in a really bad spot. And if you're recovering, you're no way you're going to be blocking what's coming up, especially when Jackie's got some fast buttons. It's some good mobility here. Semiij not committing to the whole thing, but does find some way to try to keep some pressure. Unfortunately, Hijinx jumping out of there, getting some offense going, and what an anti-air stand one. Semiij unfortunately didn't have any bar to perform the breakaway. Couldn't even if it was fast enough, even if he could react to that, don't know if that was going to be in the cards for him. Hijinx taking this round here and trying to make this decisive 2-0 lead.
Okay. Semiij. No, it doesn't get too much. It's Hijinx who buttons out. Cuts it short. Semiij actually might have called it, but didn't quite get there in time. Here's Semiij now, with a character who doesn't have the strongest mix-ups or the strongest damage, but he has made both of those things really count. Yeah, here it is. Oh!
Did Hijinx, and again, I want to say Hijinx understood that Semiij wasn't close enough to get that free check with the stand 3. And he was just willing to swing, because after that, you're pretty negative. You don't have access to, you know, delay wake up or any kind of invincibility frames with up 3, but still, the attention to detail there from Hijinx to correctly identify that is phenomenal. I really love seeing play like that. The call out, very, very brave stuff. DOT on the ground, Semiij not trying to deal with any of that. Hijinx coming in hot. Oh, it was the right call, but a little bit of a miss execution from Semiij. No way, no way.
That was so sick. What a call out on that down two. Didn't get the full conversion, but nevertheless, Hijinx secures. Dude, let's go Semiij. What a call from him as well. I'm telling you, he's got these funky matchup-specific things that are just so cool to watch.
It's do or die, David. It's do or die. This is the final round coming off that fatal blow. Better now, better use it or lose it. Flipping over to the other side. Hijinx not able to deal with it. Semiij with the anti-air. Is this going to be enough? He drops it, but it's okay. But it's okay. Follows up with the scramble. The crazy stuff there at the bottom. Hijinx definitely not blocking anything. Looking to swing, possibly wake up buttons, which is a very common option when somebody drops a combo because you're expecting them to still be in recovery frames and you're expecting, you know, basically they don't want to be in that position. And if you're coming up swinging, no delay wake up, just straight swinging, you can usually get a full combo punish for their mistake. Now, again, that kind of determines on the situation, depends on what you drop, depends if the input comes out late or if it doesn't come out at all. And Semiij was ready to pick that back up. And that all started, David, with that one fatal blow call out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not just random fatal blow, but understanding that Jackie was going up into the sky. He met her, I think it was jump kick into fatal. Pretty sick. So we got a tie. It's 1-1. Definitely seen strengths of both characters so far. You never know when Hijinx is going to come in, and well, Semiij was waiting.
Little whip there. Hijinx gonna take full advantage, but he does with this super jump here. Okay, we're talking about the specific tech, the specific Cassie tech, and Hijinx showing that you can super jump, chase it down, get a full combo punish. And look at this damage here. DOT. Not sure why Hijinx dropped that thing right there at the end, but could give Semiij the chance to make it.
A couple of times. Yeah, he gets his breakaway, or he drops a combo, and then Semiij tries to stand one or whatever it is. Hijinx wakes up with down two, blowing it up right away. That's happened the last two games.
Super duper good. And right there, Hijinx actually recognized the stand three was close enough, or, you know, Cassie was close enough at that down three range, or I'm sorry, stand three range. So decides not to poke back. So definitely some tech that I'm seeing unraveling here between this gameplay. Semiij, you know, that move is so good. It's so fast and, you know, it leads to a nice crushing blow. But when you have someone in the corner and they have to just block that over and over and over again, you know, it really sets up for some awesome mind games. Now, of course, that also complements well with Cassie Cage's mid. You know, she thinks that you're going to mash, you know, a crouching button to stop the high from coming out. You know, she can just kind of wait it out, space it out, and perfectly execute.
Oh, no hit confirmed. But still, it's Hijinx pressuring. At the corner, keeping it very light. Okay, he didn't believe in the hit.
Looking for some kind of mix-up there with the overhead. Does work. Semiij finding the hits here. Hijinx jumping out. Empty jump into some buttons, hoping that Semiij would think a throw is coming. Semiij with a breakaway and getting punished there for hitting that down to recovery for days. And when Jackie Briggs has those mids, she's going to make it hurt. Hijinx up 2-1 over Semiij. I don't think we're going to see a stray away from Cassie Cage. I feel like it's going okay here. You know, he's not too far behind. This is by no means, you know, a wash on either side of the players. Semiij doing a pretty good job of getting those anti-airs, making sure that they hurt in the right scenarios. But Hijinx just a few steps ahead, a few right decisions ahead of the curve here.
Katana.
Will he go Katana? Yo, he's going Katana! Okay, let's see. Character that he is very interested in playing as well.
Oh, loves Katana. Loves Katana.
No doubt. What do we got? What do we got?
Yeah, I want to see this loadout. Possibly low fan toss. I think it's a
probably low
fan
toss, I would think. Yeah. Ground war, air fan flutter. Okay, cool. All right, let's make it happen, Semiij. Just see what we got. Let's see what we got.
Checking
there.
Oh,
but no hit confirmed. Interesting.
Yeah, no commitment here from Hijinx. Possibly a little too late there. Just find a strange little airborne scramble, gets caught by the fan, and this is going to be pretty good to deal with Jackie in the air. You know, Semiij is far enough away, but I feel like you're almost never far enough for Jackie to make that jump in. You know, as long as she times it right. Katana does have a pretty good anti-air down 3, so that could come into play here as Jackie just kind of applying some normal jump pressure. Oh, the timing there on the breakaway, just a little too late to actually come up for a punish.
That was a sick conversion there by Hijinx, really keeping his eye on things. And he's keeping Semiij here. The fan flutter in the sky, well, dies anyway, and it's match point Hijinx. I like the idea, though. I like the idea out of Semiij. As it is
Knows its
match
fate.
point Hijinx. Oh, say what? Wow, okay.
Big punishment city here, dragging him all the way to the corner. Hijinx goes for the delay wake up just a little bit, just slightly. Gonna keep hitting those double overheads here, looking to get Hijinx to disrespect something, but this time around, Hijinx not challenging. In fact, just kind of being more passive, not really trying to be the aggressor here. Doesn't want to take too many big risks.
Yeah, again, he knows that if he finds the hit, he does a ton of damage, so he doesn't need to be overly aggressive sometimes. It was a sick Shoryu. And here's Semiij. Oh. Look at this absolute safety first defense. Finally the hit comes. Semiij, I feel like, has pressed 1,000 buttons in this round.
No breakaway. No breakaway there available for Hijinx. Not able to get out of that bad spot. And Semiij showing signs of life again here. Not to say that, you know, Cassie wasn't doing a good job, but, you know, she had her shot. You know, she had her 3 games. Let's give Katana a chance to shine here. Neutral jump kicks and just continuing to, you know, be respectful is Hijinx. Not really seeing Hijinx swing out of turn there, and that's actually Semiij getting a little cheeky there, canceling that low poke into the low fan toss just to kind of make Hijinx think, well, maybe I really shouldn't swing afterwards. Shouldn't
All
swing
that
one
defense
out.
and then turns it right into offense so quickly. Now it's Hijinx who has a significant life lead. Down to preemptive. It's Semiij who has offense now. Maybe. Maybe. Not quite there.
He robs the conversion again.
Would have been sick.
Killed strong.
Can he stay alive? It's Hijinx out of there. Even Chip's a big Bravo tried to meet the opponent in the sky, but Hijinx has the grenade already, and that is going to be 3-1. Hijinx moves on versus Semiij. The Cassie didn't do it. The Katana didn't do it either. And he had a great run. He's a fantastic player. But he will end up in 4th. Again, 4th means $1,000. Hijinx continues on into that top 3. Legit difference. It's a run back, just if y'all weren't watching earlier. Curbolicous did defeat Hijinx in the semis in winner's side. So we're coming back here, and you know, I would say this, oftentimes players who lose think about it more deeply than the players who win. And that's not to say that they always then beat the person who sent them the losers, of course, but boy, sometimes you got to make that counter adaptation as the person who won. And right now I'm seeing a lot of adaptations by Hijinx that are working out. He's got the big life lead.
Not slowing down is Hijinx. Of course, definitely a call out. Maybe thought Curbolicous was going to jump, do anything but block, or possibly trying to chase down some kind of roll back, as Curbolicous was feeling a little overwhelmed there with all those correct options. Love the double hit air-to-air thanks to the slight gas, and Curbolicous just competing at the highest level here. Gonna break that armor, no problem, but keep in mind, he's holding on to that crushing blow because it is very possible for that stipulation to be completely filled one more time. This is still early on to the set. We've got one more round to go. Definitely gonna want to keep it for that threat. Curbolicous tying it up like nothing, not skipping a beat.
Big risk by Hijinx to take it. Turbo. Only got a grab, it could have been worse, to be honest. Harassing a little bit. Here's the moment, offensive bar spent. Oh, and called out the breakaway as well. So slightly more damage, as you can see, on the grab. 180, 190, I think it said.
Love the conversion here. Tough follow-up after a crushing blow. Curbolicous just never, ever dropping that conversion. Auto shimmy, and Hijinx completely falls for it. Thinking a throw was coming, but it's lots of punches that you can cancel at any time. But Hijinx, speaking of cancels, finds it. It confirms no problem, and so good at that. I mean, we've seen time and time again, set after set, Hijinx getting that win, getting the victory by being able to hit confirm right into that fatal blow at the very last possible third round winner. Hijinx taking that first game over Curbolicous. Now remember, double elimination bracket. The fact that Kerbo is the one that knocked Hijinx into losers doesn't mean a thing here. They're going to be playing first to three, and the first to three here will move on to the grand finals. So a little bit of a reset of pressure. The old score doesn't matter. We're starting fresh, brand new. A new day is upon us, and Hijinx willing to just ride that momentum, ride the wave from the lower bracket, you know, past the carnage of everyone that he left behind here. Everybody Hijinx has eliminated.
Well, it was 3-1 last time. You know, it wasn't a blow up. It was Kerbo winning, like I said. But Hijinx did take a game, and we saw some things there that we saw before. We saw, like, Wake Up Dragon Punch, for example. Jack, you saw that again. We saw a ton of movement by Kerbo, jumping backwards as well, right? He's looking for the air approach. He's looking for the dash punch, whatever it may be. So they are certainly, yeah, it's a very similar open like I was talking about. So they're well, I mean, they're both playing, obviously, with that last match in mind and all the times that they've played before, too. Oh, no.
Holding on to that crushing blow is Curbolicous. Again, early on in the set, if you don't need it for the win or don't need it for that slight edge, no reason to come off of it.
Oh, yeah! Wow! That ball really came to hell.
Oh yeah, it's so crazy how even if you hit an airborne opponent, it kind of like puts you back into that same juggle state you're used to, and because of that failed escape, Kerbo just kind of smelling the blood or in the water and just sensing the weakness, going for the back throw there at the perfect timing to bypass everything and just get enough damage on the board. Back 1-2, good hit confirm here from Kerbo. Doesn't commit to the whole string. Smart stuff there. Doesn't want to overextend. Doesn't want to overreach just in case of that roll. But that's not going to help you out. Hijinx riding this momentum, taking full advantage of everything, and just going offense crazy here.
But it's not always offense, is it? Look at this.
Yeah, blocking.
Playing patiently.
Blocking for his life. And, you know, obviously blocking for your life is going to leave you susceptible to that, and Hijinx really tried to steal that there with some kind of crazy fatal blow. And of course, the armor did not become active. It needs 6 frames of startup first before the armor comes into question at all. So Curbolicous able to kind of stuff that out, no problem. Kerbo, back in this.
Yeah, and that's what, I mean, we got to expect a close one here.
Sure.
Top 3 of NA East. Certainly one of the strongest, maybe the strongest region in the world. You know it's going to be tough all the way through.
It is. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. And again, these guys want it. Just this matchup specifically, this set, the equivalent of a difference of $500. Riding right here in a first to 3. I thought this was the offline days. First to 3 here. Pro competition online. I mean, you don't get any sweatier than this. I mean, Kombat League is Kombat League. Sure, you lose, you get sweat, you get a little salty, and then you kind of just forget about it a few minutes later. But this one's gonna sting, whoever does lose here, knowing that they're gonna be $500 poorer, I guess is the more pessimistic thing, but know that the opponent is going to be $500 richer because you couldn't beat them. Curbolicous taking that slight lead here in this race, but Hijinx, of course. I mean, both these characters hit so hard. Both these characters, you know, have incredible air mobility here. So, you know, it's really just about dealing with it and then just finding that successful hit. Instant jump from Curbolicous, jump attack, able to get something here. Doesn't get the enter though there. A little bit of a drop, maybe he was baiting something out here.
Wow, what a time to swing! Kerbo's here to finish it, absolutely. I love that challenge that started off because he pressed buttons at a real funky time. Hijinx was looking for it.
I also want to point out that Kerbo was micromanaging that bar there from Jackie. As you see it now, it is full. But while Kerbo was doing that combo, she was actually just shy of 2 bars and had no access to break away, which is why Kerbo went for the short killer. Down to crushing blow, knocking the teeth right out of Cabal's mouth. And putting him back a little closer to the corner. Hijinx meeting with those mids. Did not love it. Look, Hijinx just hit him twice. And look at all the damage. Look at all the damage here. Up 3. The fully invulnerable move to kind of stop the momentum.
Wow. Super funky. Yay! Fall spots it down too. That's cool.
Was expecting like a different button. I mean, it's so specific timing here. Back throw from Curbolicous. Can he make this comeback happen? I'm going to say it's going to be tough.
I want to see that wake up DP, man, from Hijinx yet again. I love it.
Final round. Fight.
Boy, this is close. We knew it was going to be. Hijinx trying to control the sky. Just a little bit here. The challenge comes. Kerbo able to capitalize big time. He's got 330. Here's a chance. And sets up the KB. It's 380. It's Hijinx pressuring even still.
Running away with this, man. Running away with this. Hijinx. Oh, Kerbo with the hit confirmed there. I mean, the strange fact that that second hit airborne, but Hijinx ready to get up with some mids. Mids. Jackie's got those mids for days, and like we said before, like we've seen time and time again, that fatal blow coming into play at the perfect, basically the 11th hour of the match, coming in to play right when Hijinx needs it. Hit confirmed, fatal blow, no problem.
I love these challenges that wake up forward 3, super sick. Wake up Dragon Punch, rad. We also saw Kerbo try it. He had wake up 1-1 and turned it into big damage. So both of them are stealing turns. Both of them are getting big damage when they find those stolen turns. But at the same time, both of them have these extended series of like blocking it out, playing patiently, and then you just never know that at some point, they're gonna do something like wake up forward 3, and you don't know when that's gonna come. We've seen wake up 3 even from Kerbo, right? Trying to take his turn back. They've been very mix-up heavy, even on their own defense.
Again, keep in mind, Cabal's up 3, very unsafe on block. Every character can punish it as long as they're right next to him. And you gotta really wonder, was Kerbo willing to bet it all there on that one call out? Yes, because it is a fully invulnerable move, and it's just kind of a good way to get that momentum shift back onto your side, especially if it does hit. And then, you know, you make them fear it a little bit later, make them, you know, try to bait it out here. As Hijinx goes for that back to Curbolicous, waiting, biding his time, waiting for that opportunity to hit that flawless block up 2 as he just kind of scoops up, uppercuts Jackie Briggs for a full combo, continuing the onslaught, guessing right, hitting these nice hit confirms right in the corner, gonna keep Jackie Briggs. I think he only hit her like 3 times and she's almost dead. Here comes the low buzzsaw. Curbolicous playing immaculate right now, not trying to take any crazy risks as he just jumps in. No problem thanks to the slight gas and a quick little sweep here. Kerbo looking to tie this up, man. What a one-sided first round.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's not afraid to do it. He's gonna be cooking even as he's doing some damage.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah, it went away.
It's cooking right now on top of that DOT. Good placement here from Hijinx. With respect, not trying to go too crazy. I kind of feel like Hijinx is you know, just waiting for, you know, Cabal doesn't really have too much in the mix department in this variation. You know, when you don't have a low hook or, you know, anything to really mix up those strings, you kind of just have to stay solid. That was smart, because even if Curbolicous blocked it, that DOT would have done enough damage, forcing you to stay there because the long animation of the grease kick. Doesn't get the second follow-up there. As soon as he lands that first hit of the string, completely whiffing, but that's okay. Kerbo finding the hit, pushing her closer and closer to the wall. Dirty mattress in play. She's gonna bounce off, but no, comes off the 2 bars. Breakaway no longer accessible for quite some time. So Curbolicous, you gotta find the hit. You gotta find it right now to close this deal.
Yeah, Hijinx also isn't going to get a ton of damage if he does find a hit at this moment, so he plays a little bit more patiently. As soon as the meter's back, he is a threat. Ah, the funky stagger! Turbo does do it. Oh yeah, we knew it was going to be close. We talked about it before. When they played earlier in Winner's Side, as I mentioned, Kerbo took it. It was 3-1. 3-1. It's not going to be that way this time. It will be 3-2 either way. Not sure which, but it will be down to the final game here in Losers Finals.
Game 5, man, you'll love to see it happen. You want to ring that bell, press that button, activate everything you got here, because we got a Game 5 Losers Finals. These guys want it, man. These guys want it so bad. They either want the run, Kerbo wants the run back with Kombat, or Hijinx wants his shot at glory here. Could still possibly, either of these players could still possibly overtake the grand finals, but right now let's just focus at the match at hand. Game 5 situation here. Do you have an option
You know what's
to
funny
change?
is that
these guys have been loyalists throughout the whole time. What's funny, David?
No, there's no way that they're going to change. Yeah, Kerbo will often, when he takes a game, do a fatality, right? Something we've seen from him, not just in this top 16, but like all the time. We're not.
I think it's
right
an MK9 thing.
Yeah, but we're not seeing it right now, right? We're seeing him fully engaged, thinking about it, not even spending the brain power to input those buttons, right? Want to get back into it, want to do what you want to do, think about what you need to do. That's where his mind is. As we enter game number 5, one of them moves into grand finals for the chance to take that first place with $3,000. One of them loses and ends up with $1,500. Now that's not bad either way, but it's a significant difference. That's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for the respect. They're fighting to shut everybody up in chat. I see you all. I see what's going on in that chat.
We're looking here. Yeah, man. I mean, no one, obviously these guys are no one's denying that their characters are really good, but you can't really take anything away from these players really putting in the work. Game 5 scenario here. Who's gonna want it more? Jackie Briggs opening up things early with that overhead elbow drop. Curbolicous looking to block low, or not looking to block anything at all. Downward buzzsaw going to be using that mobility. Good hit confirming to the Nomad Dash. Cabal hits like a truck even when he doesn't need to use meter at all here, just when he wants to do it. Hitting those mids back and forth. The mobility, it's just insane, man. How fast Cabal can just hit you with overheads that are going to lead into damage. And speaking of damage, Hijinx running away with this. Flipping over to the other side. Oki right on top of Curbolicous, able to identify that slight delay. Goes for the empty jump back throw, keeping it mixed up in Curbolicious's head.
Look at all that blocking, only to find that one hit finally, and now it is match point for Hijinx. Threatening to get into grand finals. We know Kombat's waiting for one of these two. Out of the sky. Hijinx just getting some damage over time. Yeah, get out of there. Absolutely. And that's exactly what Hijinx expected as well.
Elbow drop here, instant jump kick. Cabal so tough to contest with down to crushing flow. Saw the throw coming a mile away and ducking right under it. Just hits the middle. Completely whiff. Completely whiff.
Oh, he's in big trouble. He's in big trouble. He cannot get touched by anything. Even his foot in the goop is no good. Okay, he's got an offensive bar. He's got an offensive bar and a dream right now. Can he find the next couple hits? Maybe even one hit. Hijinx blocking for so long. 10 seconds. 15 seconds with the block button. Finally finds the moment, and Hijinx bursts up into the sky to take it 3 games to 2. After 15 seconds of holding on to that shoulder button, he finally found the moment. And he gets in to grand finals, sending out of the tournament the person who sent him into losers in the first place.
Insane, man. And that's got to be such a good feeling to come out knowing that, you know, you have a really tough opponent. Just in the fact that it's Kerbo, most dominant Cabal player out there, but also the person that you just lost to, not yesterday, not 6 hours ago, like maybe 1 or 2 hours prior to this match, you just lost to them. How much could you possibly learn within that time frame to make the comeback? And not only that, but when you're coming from the winner's side, you're not playing as many matches, you're not getting as fatigued, you're not running out of energy, running out of stamina. So despite all those things, fighting against Hijinx able to clutch out the victory.
Tool to deal with Jackie. It's not perfect, it's got some holes in it, bubble, but it's also really, really effective in a lot of different ranges. And he's got gutted as well, so spine burst and gutted as we lock in for the final grand finals, NA East regional finals. Let's go.
Looking for the early read of the spine burst, knows that Hijinx wants to get airborne immediately. Hijinx did the triple burst early, got that out of the way, already setting the layers and the mind games behind what these players are bringing to the table here. This matchup has not happened so far in this bracket, avoiding the run back. Did Kombat with Curbolicous falling to Hijinx here. And let's see if Hijinx can bring the special sauce and put an end to Kombat's on the winner's side. Has the early health lead. And Kombat not overextending anything here with this Baraka choice. He brought the gutted for the damage cash out, and he brought the real, anti-upgraded, anti-leap tech with the spine burst. But Hijinx has to have a little bit of knowledge behind that, and we've already seen him be a lot less leap happy than usual.
Yeah, and that's not something he needs to go to. She gets tremendous damage just from things like forward 3, right? Pressuring from up close. Doesn't necessarily need to do that, but the threat of it, of course, makes her one of the strongest characters in the game. As Kombat slowly weaves his way in. It's not going to be quite enough. Okay.
Kombat trying to reach him there in the skies, but Hijinx did a wonderful job of, dare I say it, I might get blown up for this, a little bit of zoning from Jackie. Hold on a second. I haven't seen this since pre-RoboCop Sunio. Hold on a second.
Is this Jackie in MKX or MK11?
Kombat trying to power up the zoning himself with that Baraka flag, a rare option right there. Only gets the 180 off of the up 2, but hey, damage is damage at the end of the day. And a lot of the damage.
Oh, called out the forward movement. I love that by Hijinx right there.
Most of the damage that Hijinx has got, or a lot of it anyway, has come from those dot damages, whether it be those blasts on hit or on the ground. Kombat is not winning this war of attrition thus far, and finally makes the read of the Miracle Leap, and Kombat may have gotten a little too comfortable with the full screen presence to not be trying to scout out the burst.
Ooh, the big chance. Not taken advantage of. And Hijinx's defense up close has just been impeccable. He's absolutely willing to take the grab as he leaps in at exactly the right moment, and just beautiful. Those 2 moments when he did do the leap in exactly right. Kombat hadn't done a spine burst in a while. He wasn't even looking for it anymore, seemingly. It seemed like he had convinced Hijinx not to do the leap. That's exactly when the leap hit.
Straight into Kombat's head when this match started off, with Kombat doing a spine burst, and then he ate a projectile for it, and no other leap came for quite some time. It was just all zoning, and a lot of it was just sitting on the ground in front of him, and he was opting to try to make those trades happen with the blade sparks, because they do a massive amount of damage, right? And then he tried to amplify that damage with the flag. He was just fighting from a health deficit the entire time. And then Hijinx made I feel like it was just 1 leap read per round that was right. So he's like 100% leap rate, which is not a stat you want against you fighting Jackie here. Kombat is going to stick it up Rocket, though. He does have the set to play with, and he's going to be confident going in with any character.
Yeah, I still think the character is a reasonable choice. It really just prevents Jackie from doing, well, maybe not prevent, but right, there's such a greater risk to going in as she would like to go in.
Off to a really similar start, and okay.
A little bit too far from forward 4. But Wright's shutting it down. Shutting down that approach.
Almost had the right read there too. If that leap, if he had chosen to go full screen, may not have gotten a punish on the flag, but definitely would have been able to steal a turn and maybe push him out of the range and avoid that damage boost. Uh-oh, wait a second. A little bit of damage on top of that. That was only 18% in game number 1. It was the same conversion off of the up 2. This time 216. Brocca's flag coming into play. That might be a first here at MK11.
Yeah, well, if she's gonna be on the other side of the screen, letting you get the flag up, go for it, absolutely. Here's the chance now, Shirley break.
Ooh.
Even chips irrelevant right now.
Swing and miss.
And I'd still be sweating.
Take the opportunity looking for flawless. There it is up in the sky! That is the power of the spine burst. It does hit really far, really high. I mean, I won't tell you that it's 100% on that, because I've definitely, as a Baraka player, done spine burst and she's sailed through it. Like, it's not perfect, but it is really good.
I like how Kombat's kind of approaching this too. I think that he is just trying to play around a health lead, knows that the trades are going to be in his favor. As long as his health remains around the same, if he just avoids those 30% leaps, this is a pretty good spot for him, I would say.
He's doing a bit of a turn.
Ooh, did you see that wave dash that went about one foot, even though it was like a triple wave dash?
Yeah, you know.
Not one of Baraka's specialties out here. His specialty, damage. Although not accessed so far.
The opponent still, and that is going to do it. Yeah, yeah.
You're nothing.
Very smart calculation there by Hijinx. Do you think after a second game that Kombat might make a switch? Or is he just gonna, you know, slowly adapt as this match goes along? Because he's gotten better and better at it.
That's something we see from Kombat. You know, he will lose the first game of some sets and make the adaptation. Certainly something we've seen many times.
We got to give credit to Hijinx, who has just gotten better and better as this tournament has progressed. And at a level like this is something huge for someone who's about to take this and back to the corner. Oh!
Ew, what a mess.
Jackie Briggs wins.
Oh, that cracks me up. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the switch, I think. I think that it's been shown at this point that it's not just about the approach. And that's, I mean, look, that's Hijinx in general. Like, it's not just about the leap approach. It's a huge part of his game plan, because it's a huge part of his character's game plan, but we also have often seen him turn defense into offense. We've seen him turn anti-airs into big damage. We've seen him turn just regular stagger pressure into big damage. It's not only about that. We've seen zoning even, you might call it, right? In this matchup versus Cabal as well. There is more to it. So I think this is a good call for Kombat to make the switch.
Jackie Briggs.
I wasn't sure what the pick would be between any of the characters that we saw or kind of know him for competitively throughout the previous year, whether it was gonna be the Johnny, whether it was gonna be the Joker or the Gearus, but he's gonna go with Johnny Cage here, which has been the pick every time he has, well, I believe, lost a game or has been in a close situation. He's gone to Johnny in those final games and it's clutched it out for him, no problem. It's the character that we've known him for, speaking earlier on some of his results in the previous pro competition. Some of the most exciting matches I've ever seen in my life have been from Kombat playing this character, and the comebacks that we've seen him be able to pull off. He's going to need another one here if he wants to end this before a reset.
Well, it's a great start already for Hijinx here. Yeah, getting the grab too.
Going down.
A little bit extra toasty. Yeah, 3% extra. It's fine.
Definitely not going to zone Johnny Cage as much with him having a very, very fast projectile.
Yeah, that's not what this is going to be about as much, and without anything like a spine burst, for example. So the party starts with Kombat able to get in here.
I like that. Kombat didn't come off all of his resources right there. The Fatal Blow's going to come back, and he actually might be able to do this. I was just talking about, now we have seen some of the greatest comebacks, but the dot damage, I don't know if that's going to be avoidable. Hijinx, such a smart closeout. Taking away the only thing that Kombat relies on for a comeback in most instances, which is blocking something and then doing something godlike. There was no option to block. There was only panic, die, and melt in the lava that was on the floor.
Ooh, always a threat. There it is. Okay. Pretty sick. Rises up to meet her.
Now zero.
That's a lot of meter spent right there.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so Hijinx is not going to be quite as effective. He backs off, maybe hoping to wait for it to come back. These straight shots, by the way, have been killing.
And when he was down the resources, Hijinx relying on, you know, not just the offense, but the defense there to beat him with flawless block. He'll steal a turn right there. Kombat's on the hunt. Hijinx does have the fatal blow. And if you are Hijinx, you want to kill Johnny before giving him that fatal blow cancel again. Not going to matter whatsoever as the clutch anti-air comes from Kombat to stay alive once more. But one hit could have made this bracket reset completely. And I wouldn't be giving Hijinx this much of a jolt, you know, already coming out of losers the exact way that he did against Curbolicous.
So that slow play. You never know when it might be opposite. Look at that. Did you see him back off slightly? Like to just outside of that range. Yeah, seriously.
Knew the ranges of the normals, went right inside of it, and then right outside of it for the whiff punish. Beautifully executed. Ooh, big swing there by Hijinx. And Kombat's gonna get some corner pressure and no defensive meter to worry about right on the cancel there. Hijinx still have the resources to keep going, and Kombat just making a great read. He only needs 100 damage here to get on the board finally. No down two, but wasn't held. I don't remember seeing a down two crushing blow. That could have been crucial for Hijinx's comeback here. Tries to get him to press the button with the early jump normal. Kombat says he's seen that before. Flawless block. Holy crap! Both of these guys have shown off.
Blocking, and then all of a sudden with the flawless block too. It's always in fighting games for me, defense is one of the things that gets me the hypest. Finding moments like that, super sick.
And it's even crazier when they need it the most, right? When it's what almost is the difference maker with a highly executed move like that, mechanic like that. And both of these guys have done a tremendous job at it. Hijinx even mounting that comeback with the start of having no resources, but still doing the flawless block. Yeah, you can't cancel it in an up 3 or an up 2, but it takes away all of the frame advantage of the jumping entirely. And that in and of itself comes into play even when you have yourself no meter. And always keep that in mind, guys.
Jackie Briggs.
Kombat's Johnny looking good. And you can see that, I mean, look, as a Baraka player, you can see that there's some stuff that Johnny can do that Baraka is not quite as good at. That ground mobility, super important to be able to stab in, to be able to back off and get the whiff punish, for example, that we turned into big damage, that kind of stuff. To consistently get significant damage, gutted, deals a lot of damage, but if the opponent has defensive bar, it's not going to do that, for example. And so Kombat just consistently has a very fast fireball. Baraka's is pretty good, to be honest, but Johnny's certainly better. So I like this pick a lot. I do think this is the right call.
Has an entire special that we saw used as a DP with that Rising Star. That was a little bit surprising. Has the pissed off for the armor break. You know, the one time that he landed a gutted, he, you know, if he would have brought Baraka's armor break, could have been even crazier. But here with this Johnny, you're right. You know, having lengthier normals that are better staggerable, I would say, if that sentence makes sense, than some of Baraka's stuff. And
yeah, and again, I don't want to crap on Baraka too much because
not at all.
My real feelings, but yeah, Johnny's pretty good.
and something that we're used to seeing Kombat in the hands of a whole lot more. Ooh, that was a whiff punish with a projectile, but it was a little ballsy given the distance that he was at. A lot of belief in that one, but it is almost as fast as most characters' quickest buttons that are going to be at that range anyway. And another beautiful call out, reading just the one grenade. He's done that back to back already. The forward 3 going. I mean, if he was standing still, maybe that could have hit, but the fact that he still moves forward was the perfect answer for the up grenade.
Well, I think that really gives you a sense of how much Kombat has done to make Hijinx not know where Kombat's gonna be. Kombat just had the complete wrong call. Now he's in the corner, he's got pressure. Yeah, the defensive bar comes off.
Ooh.
Again, you said, I mean, you don't know when Kombat's gonna back off, because he has done that a lot. I mean, I get that read from Hijinx, because honestly, Kombat has done that a lot. But he's also moved forward, he's throwing projectiles, you just don't know where he's going next.
We'll finally call it out with a down 3 as well, but watch next time around, guys. When you start low poking Johnny a little too much on the approach by reading the forward 3, he's gonna start coming to that back 3, and you need to be careful and watch them toes, because they'll start clipping them. This is Kombat playing the away game. And there's the back 3, exactly. We're just reading that Hijinx was gonna go for that down 3 again, assuming that it's gonna work over and over again with Kombat doing the same approach, and now it's just unlocking more of the layers of the combat. He's not afraid to take this dot dash. He actually took that on purpose, I feel like, to give himself fatal blow. Did you see that?
Super sick if so. Anti-air with that, and then, well, here you go. It's 2-2, just like that.
Johnny Cage wins.
Kombat is looking good.
That reversal throw was savage. I can't tell if he would have done that regardless of what was on the screen, but it gave him fatal blow cancel. It gave, and if that was calculated, I mean, on top of the 4,000 reasons why he's already in this position, there's just another one for you. Let's just sprinkle on the bacon bits on top of the combat
Johnny
salad here.
Cage. Jackie Briggs.
All of a sudden, a game 5. This Johnny has been.
Wuxi Dragon Grotto.
Well, it's been Johnny Cage.
Yeah, and it's been Kombat's Johnny Cage. We've seen his Johnny be one of the best in the world for a long time now. And it's been, I think what, again, is so impressive to me is that he's been able to throw off where Hijinx thinks that Kombat's going to go. And so things like calling out the grenade, or even maybe
Round 1. Fight.
the bionic bounce, like whatever it is. Kombat is where Hijinx doesn't expect him to be very, very often. And that's been tough for Hijinx to get anything going as a result.
Ooh, tried an old school anti right there with the back dip. That would work out. That would be disgusting. Trying to read the single grenade again. Stand one gets him burned. Quite literally with the blue flame activated on him. Tries to disrespect the down 3 hit advantage. Instead eats the 1-1-2-1. And Hijinx, man, the way Kombat just closes the gap with the movement, and you're so afraid of what can come off of that movement that you're fearful, and you're standing still, afraid of the forward 3, afraid of the projectile. Then he closes the gap and he walks you to the corner just like he did. Not ready for the overhead. Up 3 almost launching right there, it looks like, as the anti-air. And this could be comeback city. Fatal blow is ready and is actually going to get it. I was about to say, this is the most opportune time for you to have exactly what he did. Kill Jackie before she gets her fatal blow. It's exactly what he did. He still hangs on to himself, and Kombat is now on championship point, pro competition point here, and he's feeling it.
Bringing up the down 2 anti-air. He's got this complete cage in the corner as Jackie. He did jump out. Yes, it's an opportunity for Hijinx, which he capitalizes on. Surely, he's got 300 out of that. Kombat even blocking the overhead. I think that actually might be the first time I've seen a block in this top 16.
Maybe used it a little too many times there. Did Hijinx. It looked like he's down 3. He did get sniped on the back 3. Is this enough? Is he going to be able to go to fatal blow? Not at all. But look at the cash out. Still max amount damage 373. The wake up down 1 saves Hijinx for the moment. He's going to make a couple more reads. Goes for the throw. Tech that company was ready for it. That was last thing even I expected with fatal blow ready. The other one comes. No safety. He's going to go for the dot damage. And down 2 whips and he stays alive. Incredible.
The man did wake up dash forward down 2. Is that what I saw here? As we're in the final round of this set, either Kombat wins the championship or Hijinx resets. Yo,
And that was the anti-air he was looking for in this final game, and we got to see it. Someone that truly knows every single tool that the character is capable of and using it at the highest level. Kombat showing us what he's all about here. And another elbow works out for Hijinx here. Not wanting to press buttons this time around on the approach of combat. Hijinx knows better. drops the jump 1. One of the lengthier jump normals to drop and was out of resources. Kombat immediately calls that with the anti-air, and now he's on the hunt. Knows that there's no bar for Hijinx to play with, and he's a shark right now in the ocean, smelling the blood. He smells the championship. He smells the $3,000 prize pool. Can he get it here? Hijinx stays alive with the fatal blow hit confirmation.
Not over yet. He's not very good on resources right now, so we might see Hijinx play cautiously. What do we got here? 1 defensive bar only. He has access to the big leap. Offensive bar comes back. But you know Kombat's had such great anti-airs from this range, leaps at this range. What is Hijinx looking for? Okay, hoping to bait.
Oh, didn't come in.
Oh, the big walk! He doesn't have the offensive bar though. 20 seconds left. Kombat out of the goop for sure.
Is he just gonna play the dot damage game as Hijinx? Shooting the regular one, nothing to throw! And Kombat is your North American East Pro Competition Champion.
Waltzed up for that throw, and that was just as he had throughout much of this set, and honestly, against everybody else too. He just was so good with his own spacing, and nobody else knew where he was gonna be at any time. It was him picking where he wanted to be, making people's jump-ins whiff, for example, making people's normals whiff, making their specials whiff, going in all of a sudden with his own grab, or whether it be with normals or whatever it may be, zoning effectively as well with the straight shots. That Johnny was amazing. Kombat wins. Of course, it wasn't just the Johnny for him today. We also saw Gears. We also saw Joker. He tried Baraka, right? The 4 different characters that he used. In the end, it was Johnny. And I think you got to say, he seemed like the best player today. Now, Hijinx, shout-outs to him for getting all the way through losers, taking it almost to reset point, very close. But Kombat made it happen. He looked great.
Here's that Baraka pick. He just couldn't access really a lot of damage here, David. It was a lot of nickel and diamond with a lot of these stray normals and stray blade sparks, and then Hijinx, when he was right, was able to cash out with a lot more damage, and the spine burst didn't really come into play other than the 1 round that we did see him take here, and then of course the down two. I think that this is where it did end on the spine burst, actually. Yeah, exactly. The 1 round that he won was off the spine burst anti-air, and then Hijinx went right back to work with that Jackie. And then after this, by the way,
Yeah, that was sick.
Then the Johnny Cage came out to play. Already starting off with, oh, scary situation there. The dot damage is beautiful, but what a different presence on the screen Johnny Cage was. No matter where he was, whether it be full screen, whether it be up close, it was something that looked like Hijinx was struggling to deal with. You know, the movement of combat was so not unorthodox. It was almost unreadable.
Amazing play. Yeah, his Johnny was just so strong. Yeah, this kind of thing, that when I saw that, I thought to myself, wow, Hijinx really just does not know where Kombat is going to be. I didn't know where Kombat was going to be, right? Was he going to back off as he often had? Was he going to go in? He just didn't know.
That was one weird drop hit confirm right there off of a perfectly calculated fatal blow cancel as well. Was able to clean that up. And here in the game 5, the back 3 this time doesn't drop it, takes round number 1. And he was all over those down 3s of Hijinx after he started breaking them out early. Hijinx still sent us the distance here. This was a crazy. If that down 2 would have worked, it would have been over right there. So
yeah,
really
that would have been
Hijinx
amazing. Actually.
So if Hijinx didn't back off before doing that, it actually wouldn't have worked out. That ended up being kind of godlike from Hijinx here. And look at this, game 5, and look how close the health bars are, ladies and gentlemen. And that is a true mix-up. I don't care who you are. You're either going to get pressured and it's going to jail, or you're going to guess a throw, and the throw is going to also be a guess. So good luck, have fun, Kombat. Congratulations, your North American East Championship. Hijinx with a awesome run through the lower bracket, getting the coolest vengeance I've seen in a while. Well done. Hijinx name is on the map, baby. Put some respect on that name.
Absolutely right. So you would say, I think, Johnny primarily, but also again Joker, Gears, Baraka for Kombat as he wins the NA East regional finals. I think this is very cool, you know, just to think about which characters ended up winning all these different events. There's so many characters in this game that are viable. In Brazil, it was Sub-Zero, that was Conqueror. In LATAM North, it was Terminator, that was Dash. In Mexico, it was Kung Lao, that was Illuminati. In
Just
LATAM South,
Illuminati,
it
he's
was
been playing Lao for like 20
Sub-Zero.
years.
It was Hellraiser. In Oceania, it was Jade, that was Waz. In EU East, it was Sindel, that was Mr. Ramirez. In EU West, that was Shao Kahn, that was
Also some Johnny. Also some
Oh,
Johnny.
that's fair enough. Yep, that's true. In the Middle East, it was Tekken Master, who finished it with Cetrion. And then in North America, it was Kano. In the West, that was Rewind. And then you all saw today that it was Johnny Cage, again, Geras, Joker, a little bit of Baraka, for Combat. So how many, I wasn't counting, but that's a ton of different characters actually who ended up winning these regional finals. And I think that really does show you that there's a ton of viable options in this game. Even if you just think about how many characters were in the top 8, the top 16 of this thing, right? There's a ton of different ones that we saw on deck here. So super, super fun to watch. Very, very interesting decision making, but I think you gotta say, Combat looked like the best player today.
Absolutely, making a return to form. You know, we that was the big question coming into this. We know the caliber of player Combat is. You know, one of the best players on planet Earth, got 4th in the Pro Competition last year at Final Combat on the planet, mind you, in a very stacked event offline. Picking up right where he left off, your NA East online champion. He was last year as well, or a couple years back when you truly look at it. But it just goes to show you that these guys don't lose a single beat, man. Showing up when they need to most and getting the victories. Combat, lights out performance from start to end. Congratulations, you are the champion today, this season.
Thanks a lot to the Mortal Kombat, I should say the Mortal Kombat 11 Pro Competition has been presented to you by PS4 Tournaments. It's been a huge partner throughout this season, the last half year of a season. Hope you all have checked out the PS4 Tournament Open Series. They are weekly competitions for all skill levels. You can play against your friends and your rivals. You can get unique rewards. You can head to compete.playstation.com and sign in with your PSN ID. Easily see a list of available PS4 tournaments to sign up. You can get an inside look at how top players play and tips and tricks for players of all skill levels. Check it out again. That's compete.playstation.com. Man, what a fantastic season we have had of the MKPK. I said this earlier, but it's really been a blast to have top level MK every single weekend. Every weekend. And what's been really, really great, I think, is that bummer that we're all stuck at home. Bummer, granted. But on the other hand, it's been super cool to be able to view each region of the world as important as the rest, right? So in the past, if you're from NA like you and I are, that might be what your focus is. If you're from another region, that might be what your focus is. Here, we're all paying attention to all the different regions around the world, and that has been a big, big part of why I've enjoyed this season so much. Shout outs to all the players all over the world who have played. High five to all the commentators, and shout outs to the production as well for doing a great job all season.
Absolutely. The entire team here at the Pro Competition has done a wonderful job, start to end, this entire thing, giving every single region a long, drawn-out series that was almost every region that wasn't NA's dream for years and years and years, and the Pro Competition delivered with this thing. And congratulations to all of the regional champions, the entire team here. All of the commentators killed it in every single region as well, all season long. It's been an absolute pleasure, David. Let's take us home. This Pro Competition was awesome. Thank you, everyone.